Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law GLC 30A-18 and the governor's March 15th, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place, this meeting of the Hubbardston Parks Committee will be conducted via remote participation in the greatest extent possible. Specific information and the general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and or parties with a right and or requirement to attend this meeting can be found on the Hubbardston website at www.hubbardston.us. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. In the event that we are unable to do so, despite best efforts, we will post on the town's website an audio or video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive record of proceedings as soon as possible after this meeting. So other than Christina, do we see anyone from the public here?
No, no one's here.
Okay. We did have a few public people last week. All right, Dave, did you get the minutes? I know it's been a crazy couple of weeks. If not, we can do with our next meeting, but yeah, did you get the minutes?
I have the notes. I have to translate them into something readable. So we'll have to do that for next meeting.
Okay, so if everyone agrees, we will just postpone the minutes from last meeting to the next meeting.
Agreed.
Everyone agreed to that?
Yes.
Okay, that sounds great. And that'll be good because Brian participated in the last meeting too. So did everyone print out the agenda?
I have it here.
Okay. So the second thing on our agenda is reopening the playground. And I know a number of us participated in the Board of Selectmen meeting, which was last Monday. And we got a lot of good feedback in regards to the reopening of the parks, which is going to be on June 8th, which is this coming Monday. There was a lot of discussion going on with that. If you recall, Dave, I don't remember if you were in that meeting or not. But I know Dan Galante mentioned stuff about porta potties, what was allowed, what wasn't allowed. And I participated in the Board of Health meeting the next evening just to find out about whether we can do porta potties, any advice they had in regards to opening the parks. So with that, a couple of things did come out. Between the Board of Selectmen meeting and the Board of Health meeting last week that I attended, one of the things that came out is that porta potties were not allowed unless they are going to be cleaned daily. So we cannot guarantee it's going to be cleaned daily. I personally felt I was not going to put any of us volunteers in the position of having to go down there and clean those porta potties daily.
Good call.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So we elected to basically, after the discussion, because I know we discussed this before, but what do you do about the porta potties? That porta potties will not be placed there at this time until we can make some sort of arrangement that they can be cleaned on a daily basis, because that's what's needed right now based on the governor's order. We also had discussed about cleaning the park. And we had made a decision last week that the park's been closed down. As far as we know, COVID doesn't live on metal and plastic for 8 or 12 weeks. And that we would need to really not go in there and sanitize. I mean, we would have to physically do it ourselves. That being said, we need to put up some signs, and with the Board of Selectmen meeting last week, Ryan said, email me, we'll talk about signage, on and on. So it was a little confusing, to be honest, with the emails that kind of went back and forth. But the signage that they want has a lot of language on it. So the last email that was sent back was that I felt the town really needs to decide what they want for language on these signs, because it was kind of confusing. And so I suggested, and there was like two other people, I can't remember the names, I apologize. Someone from the Board of Health, and then the lady from, the woman from Ladybug Farm, and I don't remember her name, Kathy, I think. They were asking for input in regards to the language on the signs. So it was kind of up in the air what it would be. So my suggestion back to them was, why doesn't the Board of Selectmen in the town come up with the language they want for the signs? And we will place them throughout the town in public properties.
Right.
Because it's not just the parks that's open to the publics. We have cemeteries open to the publics. We're going to have buildings open to the publics. So they really need to decide what the language was that they wanted on the signs. So I did tell them that we would provide simple signs. My thoughts are is to just remind the public to be safe in regards to, you know, washing your hands or, you know, the social distancing once the playground opens up. I think it's going to be a difficult task. I think it's going to be hard to rally 3- and 4-year-olds into social distancing, but at least we have the signs there to remind the parents.
Right.
So I did order signs through DSFX, which is a company here in town that we've used before. And he's making up some signs for us that we can place on the playground before Monday. He was really good. He says he can get these done for us. And one of the signs says, and Ryan did write back to me and say, you really kind of have to touch on this issue. And the issue is that the playground has not been cleaned and sanitized, and people can use it at their own risk. So we have one sign that says that. We have another sign that says, please remember social distancing does apply at outside facilities. And another one that says there's no public restroom, because we no longer have a public restroom at this point until we're allowed to arrange some sort of porta potty cleansing every day, or unless that ban is lifted and you can actually just have porta potties that are cleaned once a week. So, you know, communicating with Ryan, I decided on those signs, and we should have them by the end of the week, and we shall have them put up on the fence at the playground before it opens. Does anyone have any thoughts or discussion?
So we ended up just getting signs for the parks. We're not getting like townwide. There aren't townwide signs.
Correct. So the town, from what I understand, is going to get townwide signs that have the language that they want on it.
Okay.
And the parks are just going to have signs. You know, to me, signs that just remind people to be safe.
Yep.
Inform people that we have not sterilized and cleansed this playground.
Yep.
And that playing on the playground is at everyone's own risk. The signs that are up at the playground currently all say you are playing at this playground at your own risk. That's already there, but they felt that it needed to be a little more specific. He had sent me an email about that. So, and you know, hopefully this is only a temporary thing. I mean, I don't know how long we're going to have to post this kind of information, but for now, that's, you know, that's what we've done. We're doing our best to comply with informing the public and letting everyone know to open up the parks. Anyone have any questions about that? I can tell you it is a little interesting, because if you go to other towns, some towns' parks are already open.
Oh yeah, some of them have been open right along.
They've been open right along. They've never closed down.
Yep.
So I think we've been very diligent with following the orders. I think we've, you know, been a responsible party to the people of the town to do our best to keep them safe. And I don't know what more we can actually do.
Yep.
So, okay. Anyone have any questions about that?
Nope.
No.
Nope. Okay. And also in regarding to paying for that, we actually have some funds left in our expense account, which we could use by the end of June, because we need to use our expense account by the end of June or turn it back over to the town, which is fine. Sometimes we end up turning over $25, $50 if we just don't use it. But Ryan did write to me and said that the town has received like a COVID CARES account. He didn't explain it specifically, but he told me that we could expense these signs through that particular account if it's specifically related to COVID. So we can do that once we get an invoice from them. So, all right. So moving forward to the playground itself. So thank you, Jay, for making a barrier that we can put up on the tower at the playground that attaches to the slide. So I don't know exactly when you did bring that down to DPW, but I know you had done it.
So I went down and talked to Travis this afternoon. I gave him all the parts, and he's gonna go down tomorrow morning. He's gonna try to go down tomorrow morning and remove the slide, and he has a full understanding of how the pieces go in place, and he's gonna take care of that. So he's gonna try and do it tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last day they're working until Monday. If he can't make it tomorrow, he's just gonna go early one morning next week.
Okay, so I can tell you that I came through town probably around 2:30, 2:45, and the slide was still there. And I thought, okay, you know, they still have tomorrow. And probably around 3:45, I actually got an email from Travis that said slide gone, and he included a picture. However, I couldn't get the picture to download. So I think they've done it. I just haven't gone back to town, but it sounds like they got it done this afternoon. So,
good.
But I haven't seen it. So,
I think, you know, it's funny there. I was there at about, it's funny, I was there at about 2:45, maybe, because I thought they closed at 3, and I wasn't sure. They must have just had the guys were coming back in from leaving somewhere else. So they must have just had some time. He said, hey, go up and do this.
So did he mount the barrier too, or did he just pull the slide?
I don't know. I couldn't get the picture.
I got you.
I would hope he mounted the barrier. The barrier is pretty easy to put in. So if they took the slide out, they had time.
Yeah, I did not have time to do it. Maybe I'll take a ride down early in the morning and see if that got done. You know, if the barrier got put up. Hopefully, I mean, I'm assuming it did, because it would really be a safety hazard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he knew he had to do the two things together. So I'm sure he did a good job and did that.
Yeah.
So that's good. And hopefully he put caution tape around it. He did tell me he had caution tape that he could put around it as well. So, yeah, no, I couldn't get that opened. I tried and tried. I couldn't get it.
A picture?
Any other questions about the slide?
What couldn't you get open?
I couldn't get it. He sent me a picture, and I couldn't get it to open up.
Oh.
So.
Is it text or email?
No, he sent it to me in an email.
Oh, yeah, that's strange.
And I downloaded it too, but I couldn't. But I've been having trouble with my phone. I really need a new phone.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Any questions about that? No. Okay. So last week was an interesting week. We had a number of activities going on down at the park. So apparently the water got turned on based on our last meeting and our last discussion with other park, past park members. And so
I'll never have his back again, ever again. That's it.
So anyways, apparently the coordination was that he was going to turn the water on, but not get the irrigation system started based on our last meeting. And that got done, I want to say on Tuesday afternoon, because I saw them down there and I said, oh, I don't know what's going on. I thought maybe someone from Lions Club was planting flowers, but apparently they were cleaning the filters, and they turned the water on for the baseball field, for the major baseball field. And then on Thursday morning, Wednesday morning, whatever, I got a call from the police department that said, someone's walking the track and there's water pouring out of the snack shack. So I was able to get the keys from Jay, which was very helpful, thank you. And I met Chris down there, and there was a lot of water. I mean, there was water all on the outside. There was literally water coming off the second story. I don't know if you've ever been in the snack shack, but if you go in, there's a set of stairs. The cooking area is down below, but there's a set of stairs that go to a second story, which is where they look out and they have all the announcements of, when they're announcing the games. And water was literally running down the side from the second story.
Wow, I didn't know there's water upstairs there. Holy cow.
Yeah. So I was like, oh my goodness, my first thought is, please, I hope the well didn't run dry, because that's a big expense. So it ends up that there was a broken pipe inside the snack shack. And although good intentions were there, I think timing and coordination wasn't there. So the water got turned on, baseball didn't go down to do what they needed to do, or was going to do whatever, it doesn't matter. But there was a broken pipe and the water was shooting up and going over that wall. And it had been probably going on for a good 18, 20 hours. It was a long time. I mean, that whole area was flooded. We opened the door, water was pouring out of the front door. So, yeah. So we were able to turn the water off at the snack shack. We were able to turn the water off under the gazebo or the bandstand. And knock on wood, hopefully the well will refill, although we haven't had much rain. And we'll have to call to see about having it repaired. So I did send an email to the baseball commission. I was in baseball. And they did get back to me. I spoke to Dave Fleming. I've talked to him a couple of times. He went down, he opened it up to dry it out. We locked it back up because Chris was concerned about vandalism because they do have a really nice grill in there. There's a freezer in there, there's stuff in there. So we did lock it, but I guess baseball went down, opened it up, dried it out. But they have no one on their board and no one that they knew who was a plumber who could come and fix it. So I guess we're gonna have to fix it, which I don't think is gonna be a big problem, but it does need to get fixed. So as long as everyone is in agreement, I'm just gonna have White Turf go look at it. I mean, they open up the irrigation system.
Well, I was gonna ask that, when White Turf blows the lines out in the fall, does that include doing the water leading to the snack shack? I mean, maybe we need to make sure that gets done too, because I can't think of any other reason why a pipe would burst in there unless there was water left in it over the winter.
I can ask that. I know that White Turf did blow out the pipes. They did do all of the maintenance last fall, and there was a lot of extra maintenance that needed to be done because the cost was like 3 times that it normally is.
I remember that. Yep. I don't ever remember hearing that we had that water done too. I knew it was we always had him blow the lines to the irrigation system, but I don't ever remember him doing anything with the snack shack.
Well, the thing is, a lot of the zoning things for the irrigation is actually inside that snack shack. So when he opens and closes, he has to go into the snack shack.
Okay.
He actually has a key to the snack shack and a key to the bandstand.
Okay.
So I'm assuming he did his job. I mean, I would have no reason.
Yeah, I'm not questioning whether he did his job.
No.
I was questioning whether is that part of the closing? Does he actually empty out the lines of the plumbing not related to the irrigation in the snack shack?
He's supposed to do everything. So.
No, I'm just saying, I know I don't ever remember talking about that part of it. We've always talked about the irrigation. I don't ever remember talking about him closing up the snack shack water.
Yeah, but I think it's all related.
Well, I get it's all related as it relates to water. But he's always done the well and the lines. And like I said, I just don't ever remember talking about him doing the actual potable water.
The lines, when you say lines, I think it's really the only lines are the snack shack and the irrigation. There's no line anywhere else, is there?
No, what I'm saying is we've always talked about him doing the irrigation lines. I don't ever remember anyone talking about him, closing up the snack shack.
Yeah. Well, if we want to continue to use him, I can email him, tell him the situation. We probably need to get the irrigation system up and running anyways.
Sure.
So I can reach out to him. I'm hoping he's still doing this. I know that he has talked about retiring, so I don't know if I'm going to get an email back saying I'm done with this business. I mean, you would think, proactively he would write to all of his customers, but I'll write to him or I'll call him and see what he has to say. But I do know whenever he closes down and opens, he always has to get into the snack shack.
Well, I know that there's an irrigation zone in there. And I'm not calling him out. I'm sure he's always done right by us, so I'm not worried about that. It occurred to me that I don't ever remember hearing anyone talk about the plumbing not related to irrigation in the snack shack when it comes to White Turf. So I don't know I don't know if that's all included. I guess I would hope it was for, for the
Yeah.
reason that all the water goes there anyway. So if he's in there closing it down, why wouldn't he close it all down? But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'll just, if everyone's in agreement, I will just contact him and let him know the situation and have him go look at it and replace the pipe if he needs. Well, he's going to have to. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's going to have to repair it. So along with that, though, I do know that baseball did tell me they're not having season this year. I mean, with the COVID and everything, I mean, the season would be ending soon anyways. So they told me they're not even going to have a season. So just do what needs to be done and close up the shack and we'll go from there. I mean, I still think, I mean, it's kind of a, 6 of one, half dozen another. I mean, if there's not going to be, I know I'm jumping a little bit ahead, but I also spoke to head of soccer, Jessie Torog. She sent me an email. I asked her about their season and she told me that their spring season's canceled. Their camps for the summer are canceled and they're hoping to maybe still be able to have their high school pickup leagues that they kind of do like on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That's about the only thing that they think will happen. So truly though, whether anything happens or not, maintaining those fields and getting the irrigation is an important thing to maintain those fields.
Oh, sure.
Whether anyone uses them or not.
Yep.
As an organized group or not. So we still need to contact White Turf and have them.
So even though baseball season's not going forward, are they going forward with repairing the field the way or not repairing it, remodeling it, rebuilding it?
They are.
Okay.
They are. I mean, they've been sort of, so they did get a CPA grant last town meeting. And I have been in talks with them, but things that, with the whole COVID, everything just kind of came to a screaming halt. So I did inform them that they actually have 2 years to get that project done. If they don't get it done in 2 years, they can ask CPA for an extension if they need to. So they do know that it's something they can do in the fall. It didn't have to be done now. And so they felt good about that because their hands have really been tied. So, yeah.
I mean,
so they still plan on going forward with it at some point.
Now would be the time to do it where there will be no organized games there.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. I really think they were thinking maybe a little bit more in the fall because even right now they're still having issues with getting contracts.
Oh, sure.
Getting estimates, all that stuff is, kind of been on hold at least through the end of March and April. Hopefully with more things reopening, they'll be able to move forward with that.
Yeah.
All right. So any questions about the snack shack or the broken pipe? Do you feel we should contact anyone else other than White Turf?
I think we should start with White Turf. He's familiar with it all.
Yep. Yeah, he's been doing our fields for a long time. All right, so next on the agenda is keys, because it seems like we were scrambling to find out who has the right keys, where are the keys, and one of the issues we run into is when someone can't get into something, they cut the lock and they put a new lock on it, and then we go down with our old keys, realizing who changed the lock and who has the keys. So that kind of was an issue with the barn, in that apparently the lock got changed, but Jay did have a lock and I was able to get that lock, but DPW does not have the new key. So I had to go down last week and take Jay's key and unlock it for DPW. I gave them a key and I am going to make copies of all the new keys that I have right now. And give everyone a set and leave the set with the town. So they'll all be marked and everyone will have a key to the bandstand, to the snack shack, and to the barn. All the current new keys that actually work. So, all right. So
until somebody changes the locks again.
Until someone cuts the lock and puts a whole new lock on there. Yes, you're right. So I will do that now, and everyone is going to get a set of keys the next time we actually can meet in person. That's going to be everyone's new present. We already talked about baseball and soccer seasons. That was on agenda item number 6. But basically, soccer and baseball is not going to happen this spring, and no soccer summer camps. So, but hopefully they'll be able to get something up and running for the pickup games that they do, because those seem to be quite well attended by adults who like to play soccer and high schoolers. So that'll be good to get something going on those fields. All right, so the CPA application promotion. So town meeting is June 23rd. And we have applied for a CPA application to replace the playground and to bring it up to ADA compliance. So I guess we just need to decide how we want to promote it. I know last meeting we talked about putting it out on social media and possibly putting together it. So it's my understanding right now that the town meeting is going to be held outside on June 23rd. I don't know what they're going to do if they have poor weather, if it's going to be still held under tents. But as of right now, I've heard it's going to be June 23rd at the town common.
Okay.
So we can pass out flyers and we can actually promote it on social media ahead of time, the Hubbardston Forum. There's another Facebook page for Hubbardston. I can't think of what it is. But what other ideas do you guys have? Or do you not have any?
Well, I mean, if we have a flyer, can we get the flyer posted in some of the more common areas in town? You know, Mr. Mike's, the market, the Hubtown Diner, Pizza Palace.
You know, I will ask Ryan if we can post that stuff ahead of time. I do know that the night of the town meeting, we can actually have a poster board. We can actually put flyers on everyone's seat. So when they get there, they can read it and see, you know, the funding of it and how, you know, how it all plays out. So we can do that the night of town meeting. I'm not sure if we can promote it ahead of time other than maybe on social media.
Okay.
And I've actually been waiting for the warrant to be mailed because I thought it'd be nice to know which article number it actually was.
Oh, sure. Yep.
We haven't received the warrant yet, so I'm hoping it's going to be coming out soon.
Right.
And once it comes out, and I actually have I have the financial information from CPA, so I do have all that information. I have to find out myself because I'm chair of CPA. But I'm chair of parks as well. And from a CPA point of view, we do not support or advocate for any particular project.
Right.
Because on CPA, we just say it meets the criteria. We pass it on to the town to vote. But I think as a parks member, I can. But it would be really good if I can have support from you guys to maybe talk about it as well, especially if they say, yeah, Sandy, you can't because it's a dual role and it might be a conflict of interest or something, I'm not sure. So if I get those figures together, I know Jay mentioned he might be able to get some flyers made up.
Yeah.
So I could share, when I get all those figures together, I can share them with you. And maybe you can get a flyer together and maybe post it out on social media.
Sure.
As well. And then we can have flyers to pass out at town meeting.
Yep.
So.
Yep. It just feel like we could generate, it's like a picture that we put out there on social media, right? And just, you know.
And we could put a picture of an example of what the new playground could look like.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I think we could probably have two pictures, kind of circulating, one, the new with, you know,
the old.
And then maybe the old, and kind of highlighting some of the, you know, reasons why it needs to be replaced.
Yeah.
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 And I do have a number of those pictures of things that are faulty down at the playground as it currently stands.
This came up a meeting or two ago, and I'm pretty sure I shared the file with all the photos with everybody. So Jay, you should have access to that file.
Yeah.
If you need to pull anything off of that.
Yeah, I do remember that. It's a Google Drive thing.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, that'd be really great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe if you can, Jay, if you want to try to put something together, I can get figures to you as to the cost. I actually have the figures as to that Ryan gave me in regards to the borrowing costs and all of that. And also I have a lot of information. CPA continues to upgrade us with, with COVID, how much we might get reimbursed, because obviously CPA funding for this project, or for any projects through CPA, everyone is taxed, their property tax is 1.5% increased, and that money goes into the pot for the CPA to do projects. And then the state will come in and match. And last year they matched, I want to say 27%. Right now they're estimating only a match of 11.5% currently, but they are expecting it will go higher. They just can't predict how much higher at this point. So we would at least have the base funding from the town going further, so I can actually provide the estimated revenue that would come in to pay for a project like this. So,
Okay.
so hopefully, hopefully we can get this to pass, because I don't know what we're gonna do. Then we're gonna have to start dismantling the playground piece by piece, which is gonna be really pretty sad.
Yeah.
So,
We just figured that word out there.
hopefully-
Yeah, the people understand what the situation is,
yeah, and I think
they can make a decision on that.
and I actually think even just to have them see visibly that we had to remove that slide. I mean, it was broken. Someone was going to get hurt. We've already removed. So now we have two pieces we've removed from that playground.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Going along with that, we are applying for a park grant, and I did sit in on that webinar, and I have started that application. And I've gotten as much of it done that I can, and then I have to share it with Ryan to have him look at it, see what he wants to add to it. The deadline to apply for that grant is July 29th, and they will make a decision in November or December, but they will make a decision by the end of this calendar year. And if we qualify for the grant and we are selected, we could possibly receive up to $100,000 to pay off this, to pay back to CPA to pay off for this playground. So that's actually going to be a big push too, because people need to know that we're doing our best to get additional funding so that it doesn't all come out of CPA. Any questions about that?
Nope.
Okay. Let's see. Town meeting, like we said, is June 23rd. And it's my understanding the elections are June 30th. So Dave, I think you re-put in your papers. Okay. I put in my papers, and I know Eric Jembry put in papers for the one-year position. So, so hopefully we'll have another member. I mean, whether it's him or someone else, or hopefully we'll both get reelected. If not, oh well.
Good luck, Jay.
I'll teach you everything I know in 10 minutes.
Right.
But yeah, but going forward. So anyone have any questions about town meeting?
Nope.
Yeah, you said it's the 23rd, so that's in 20 days, less than 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Just under 3 weeks. Yeah, we need to get this. We probably should get that flyer together really soon.
Well, the flyer, I don't think we can actually pass out. I will talk to Ryan, but I don't think we can pass it out ahead of time. I think we can pass it out the night of the 23rd.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, if we can get it out on Facebook ahead of time or no?
For the information, yeah. So I'll get together all my notes and all my figures, and I will get that to you if you want to be the social media guru and get all that out to all the different people.
It's fine. We can craft put together a post. We can put together whatever pictures we want. I guess if we can't put an actual flyer out there, pictures of the current playground.
Mm-hmm.
If we can't do that, we can only put up information. I guess Ryan or I'm not sure how long he's going to be deployed for, but
yeah, I didn't know. That's a good question. I didn't think to ask that. Maybe Christina can tell us.
Yeah, I don't think she knows. I think it's fairly new. So
yeah.
At present, we have no information on that.
Where is he? Do you know?
No.
You don't even know that. So
no. Okay.
Well, we can always talk to the Board of Selectmen too.
But he may be back Monday. That's the only information I have, but it's uncertain.
Okay.
It might have just been a 1 week. We'll see.
Okay, all right, thank you.
No problem. Also, just so you know, the warrant is being mailed out as a postcard this year.
Oh.
I heard you talking about that.
Mhm.
The postcard, the Board of Selectmen voted to decrease spending by sending out a postcard. I believe it's going to have a link on it to the full warrant, which will be on the website. I don't know when it's being posted.
Oh, that'd be great. That's so much easier and makes so much sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I thought you'd like to know.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Thank you. All right. So if I don't hear back from Ryan, which I may or may not on Monday, I can, I'm sure I can get an answer from someone as to
Okay.
whether we can put flyers up around town or not.
Yeah.
I know in the past we've done things that says like support Article 23, but it doesn't necessarily have all the details about it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I just
Yeah.
think we need to be prepared to talk about it, you know, and
Yep.
to discuss the financing of it, the need for it at town meeting. So if we
Right.
can get as many of us to participate in town meeting, that'd be great.
Great. Sounds like a Dave job. That sounds like a
That's my
perfect
last.
job.
That's my last furlough week, so I'll be available.
Oh, there you go, Dave. That's good. That's good. Yeah, and we'll provide all the information and data ahead of time, so you'll be well prepared. So, any other business you want to talk about? Old business? Any new business?
Nope.
No.
The only thing I'm going to mention for new business is that we normally, quote unquote, host a townwide yard sale together with the senior center.
Oh, yeah.
And that has been, it's usually in June around Father's Day, and it's been postponed till September. So because of everything. It's also my understanding that the Hubbardston Fair is going to happen, I think on June.
Really?
Yeah, I was surprised too. On June 27th. So I guess the Hubbardston Celebration Committee is going forward with that. And I haven't heard anything. They haven't asked us to do anything. They already asked for usage of the field, and we already approved all that. So I don't think there's anything else that needs to be done. We probably will need to meet again because as the reopening of the state happens, we might, we might have to meet again about bringing in a porta potty, and things like that. As of right now, we don't have a porta potty. But so the more things change, the more we're probably gonna have to meet. So maybe we can actually meet in person one of these days.
That'd be something.
Maybe.
Wouldn't that be
Stay 6 feet apart.
We could 6 feet apart, masks, the whole 9 yards.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, phase 2 opens on Monday. So that'll be interesting to see how that all happens. I'm also going to post on the info center in town that the parks are going to be opening on June 8th. And Dan from the sign place here in town, he told me he'd have the signs ready for us and he'd let us know. He said he did ask me like, what kind of material do you want? I'm like, whatever you have. I feel like we need to get these up for Monday to inform people. So he's actually putting it on banner material, which I think that's fine.
Sure.
To read it. So, and it was really cost effective because I really think these signs might be temporary.
Yeah.
So, so he said he can get them to me before Monday so we can actually have them up. Actually, one other thing, now that I talk about that, I'm also going to reach out. Every year we do this anyways, but I'm going to reach out to Claudia about trying to get a senior work-off person to once a week go through and clean the park, pick up the trash. Usually it's just plastic water bottles. But I'm going to offer to go and make sure it's clean before Monday. It'd be nice to kind of kick it off with, a clean park. Maybe I'll even get balloons and hang up balloons or something. Just, make it sort of celebratory to some degree, unless someone has a problem with that. But I think people have waited a long time to, play basketball, be on the skate park, be on the playground. To me, it's really the nicest focal point of the town. And I think it gets so much use that I think it's, if we could throw a barbecue, but I don't think that's going to happen. But I just think it would be a nice way to kind of celebrate, reopening up the park. So I think it's a nice thing. So.
Right.
Anyone else have any thoughts or anything I missed?
Not that I can think of.
You did a good job.
All
As
right. So we get it done. So everyone's doing well, everyone's healthy and the whole 9 yards? Good?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, working like crazy. You wouldn't even know it. That there's I shut down other places, but
Yeah,
everybody's open. It's people that open it back up this week. It seems like there's a lot more activity.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
week.
yeah, that's good. And Dave, you're actually going to the colleges right now?
Yep. I was at BC today. I was at BC yesterday. Yeah, it's the end of my training period is coming to an end fast.
Yeah.
We have
Does
a
it
lot
sound
to
like
learn.
the colleges are opening though? They're planning on opening?
There's
for
a
the fall?
mix. There's a couple of hybrid models out there where they're going to mix live teaching and remote. And then there are some that are doing a open early and maybe close early and maybe not have as many days off in between to try and kind of cram the semester in before the winter hits. So there's a couple of different versions out there. I haven't heard of anybody that's completely, we're going full remote. I haven't heard that yet.
I know with my daughters, everything I have heard is like the plan one is for kids to be back on campus.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is definitely plan one.
And remote is backup plan is remote learning.
Right.
So, yeah.
I mean, BC has I spent a lot of time at BC and they're, they have a significant international population, but they seem to be planning to go forward with bringing the students all back to campus, and there'll be some kind of a if a class will only be able to have X amount of students in it. So if that class is a bigger class, there'll be some kind of a rotation where kids are allowed to be in class and then kids are remote. So there's a couple of different things that I've heard being tossed around. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Yeah, it will, because we all have kids in college. And
Yes.
So we're all like, okay, what's happening in the fall, right?
Right.
So
Yes, please take them.
it's gonna be a long summer for you, Jay. So, okay, well, if no one else has anything else to discuss, we can adjourn. Anyone think of
I'm
anything
good.
else?
Nope. And I'll get meetings for last week, minutes from last week and this week by the end of this week.
Okay. Do you feel we need to meet again before town meeting, or does everyone feel comfortable if I just send the information out and we're going to have Jay make up a flyer and promote it?
Yeah. Only if we need to meet in 2 weeks, like if there's another phase and we have to put, like you said, porta potties or something like that.
Okay.
It might not be terrible to put something on the agenda, on the calendar for like the week before the meeting.
Sure. That sounds great.
That might be good just to kind of have it there in case we need to speak.
Yeah, and then that way we can actually go over the flyer that you had made up and stuff like that. That'd be great.
Yeah.
All right, so I don't have a calendar in front of me, but I'll try to pick like that. I think Brian said Wednesday, Thursdays are difficult for him, so I'll try to do maybe that Tuesday.
So that'd be like the 16th.
Yeah.
16th, yeah.
Okay. All right. I will get that posted and see if it's available, and we'll go from there.
All right, sounds good.
Can someone motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn. I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye, aye.
Aye.
Aye, aye.
8:48.
8:48. Got it.
All right, thanks, guys.